Hey ladies, today we have Candace Johnson with us. Candace Johnson was actually a Fox News producer, spent over a decade, decided to leave her corporate position to start her very own business, and we're about to get right into it. Hi Candace, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much, and thanks for joining me again to do the retaping. I truly appreciate it. I had to I had to say that for me, I wanted to definitely start off with my first interview with you because you have such a strong story and it's amazing career in television, and I would love for you to share that story with my audience. So, if you don't mind, Candace, can you just introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do?
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Candace Johnson. I'm the founder and creator of Touchy Feely Intimacy Card Game. It's the world's first talk and touch universal play game. And essentially what that means is that within one box, within one game, the game being inside this bag, you can play an intimacy card game with literally anyone, period. And that includes your children as young as age 3. Which is always something I say to people, right? And then it becomes
Yes.
that sort of guessing game of, what does intimacy have to do with children or strangers, those kinds of things. And so
Yeah.
it's a great product that sort of just shows self-discovery and how we connect interpersonally.
Yes, awesome. You know, I love your game because I play it frequently with my husband, and I also had a chance to play it with my daughter as well. That's 10 years old. So thank you for sharing that with me. Also, I wanted to know you were actually a Fox News reporter. I mean, you had this amazing career in corporate. Who doesn't want to work in television? What drove you to that place that wanted you to go off and start your own business?
Well, I mean, come on. We always want to pretend like our stories are so different, but don't we all start the same way? All the corporate girlies. You get in, you do your thing, you kill it. You get those accolades, you get the awards, you get everything, an applause, but never a dollar, never extra
Yes.
dollar. And what I was finding is that, and that's okay, right? Because that's the other
Yeah.
thing about being a black corporate girl is you're not really necessarily doing it for the dollar, especially when you love it.
Exactly.
Um, but Right? And, but what I was finding is that, okay, maybe I'm not getting the optimum dollar, right? Because I'm not gonna pretend like I wasn't paid well, I was, but not optimally in terms of what I was doing. But okay, if I'm here for the audience, right? At the end of the day, I was the only Black producer, so that's the validation right there.
Yeah.
But then I realized that the community that I say I'm here for wasn't really being served because they weren't receiving the information the way I felt was important to receive it in, right? So
Yeah.
in 2021, I just realized with obviously being in COVID and all information funneling through the cornerstone, which is COVID, it just became very clear to me that we were all having issues
Yeah.
communicating our struggles, communicating the truth about how we see each other, even if it is divisive. Why can't you communicate it? And so ultimately, I decided to leave my job because there's no validity in me giving information to people who can't digest it.
Yeah.
So quitting my job was an opportunity to actually take a step back and stop seeing people as viewers or audience members, but start to see them as humans that are lacking the ability to connect, to then be able to receive information, to then vote in their own interests.
Yeah.
And so that was sort of a very small part of what created Touchy Feely Intimacy Card Game was wanting to create a universal experience where whether it's connecting with strangers or with a person that you've been married to for over a decade, you have this space for safety and transparency, vulnerability, which of course then creates intimacy and that connectivity to a bond.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I know when we first met, I was like totally drawn in by your packaging. And then when you were telling me the backstory of your business, I was like, oh my God, like this is insane because I never came across anyone like that. You know what I mean? Or any business like that. So leaving corporate, this, like I said, this place of structure and just being stable with finances and things of that sort, transferring over to entrepreneurship, what has been the most challenging for you?
Honestly, ooh, the most challenging. Just can I say two things?
Yeah, absolutely. We wanna hear it all. So, yes.
Okay. Okay. Honestly, it's only two things.
Yeah.
First and foremost, my relationship to money.
Yes.
Let me tell you, when there's clean air everywhere, you're never thinking about air. right?
Yeah.
It's only when the air is dirty or polluted, or God forbid there is no air, that now you're
Yeah.
gasping, right? And that's what it was. My corporate experience is like, I've been accomplished since I was a year and a half old. There's
Yeah.
always been money coming in. I would never say I was wealthy, for sure. I have to work for my money. But every job I've ever had, there's been a significant paycheck, right?
Yeah.
And so I had not realized how difficult it is to make a dollar outside of a corporate model.
Yeah.
If I'm not being paid by an employer, where is that dollar going to come from?
Yes.
So my relationship to money has really changed. I mean, I actually was just saying to a friend yesterday, I can't tell you the last time I shopped for non-essentials. I
Yeah.
don't want to
Oh,
spend a
that.
dime on anything now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's number one. My relationship to money is deeply changed, especially my relationship to retail
Yeah.
spending. Um, so I'm like, listen, we can get it on eBay.
Yep.
Okay. um,
Exactly.
so that's so that's one, money. And then number two, being able to be clear about who's actually for me.
Yeah.
The kind of person that I am is, I'm a very lovable creature. I've discovered I'm like a stuffed animal for adults, right? It's very easy to use me as an emotional support tool, or a cute girlfriend to hang out with, all these types of
Yeah.
things. But being in year 4 of my company and needing you to pay, if you want to go out, I need you to take the bill because I can't pay it,
Exactly.
right?
No.
If you want to go on vacation, you have to pay for it if you want me to come, right? Like,
Exactly.
I'm happy to stay home, but if you request my presence, you kind of also have to support it financially,
Yeah.
because I'm building something and all my money has to go over here. And it's
Yes.
been an incredible opportunity to be able to see who actually puts their money where their feelings for me
Yeah.
are. Especially having a birthday last week, getting to see, like, okay, well, the difference between, right? And everyone loves me. Again, everyone
Yeah.
loves me. But respect comes in understanding what my position is, right? Care comes from wanting to support me in that position. And love just comes from, wishing well for me. So on my
Yeah.
birthday, I really got to see, most years, and we have the whole Jehovah's Witness thing in common. Most years, I'm never thinking about a gift. I don't care about
Yeah.
that. I buy myself whatever I want. This year, when people asked me, I said, okay, I would love the gift of cash. Give
Period.
me money. Yeah.
Exactly. That's
I
it.
was like, I don't care if you were going to spend $5 on a card. Don't get the card. Just give me the
Just give
$5.
me the hard cash.
And and it was amazing to see how many of my friends and family still chose. And again, nothing's wrong with anything, right? But it's
Yeah.
about, well, what is the point of the gift? If the
Yeah.
point of the gift is to satisfy me, then why did you spend the money giving it to somebody else to give me a gift when what
Yeah.
I wanted is the money? So that was those types of things. Who hears me, who sees me, who wishes me well versus who wants to do well by me in support of me
Got
getting to
it.
that next phase in my life. And there have been a lot of times when I'm like, oh, girl, you were so delusional. Here's a whole 30% of people who you thought were your best friends, your closest confidants, your
Yes.
everybody, everything. And now that I can't afford to be on their level,
Yeah.
I can't afford to do the girlfriend things, the cute thing, blah, blah. Now it's like, oh, they've left me
So,
all
so
the way
would you?
behind.
So I'm happy you pointing all this out because you and I talk all the time, and that's a lot of the
Mhm.
same things that I have been through or still is going through. It's sacrifice. So those things that you just mentioned, a lot is just like leaving this safe place of financial freedom and going to starting your own business. You lost a lot, right? Like you're saying, like friendships and people you thought you
Mhm.
had in your corner, and they're not who you thought they were. So it's kind of like you sacrificed a lot to start your business. How would you
Yeah.
actually turn that around? So we talked about the sacrifices, we talked about what has been the most challenging. What is the most rewarding about
Oh
having your
my
own
God.
business? Yes.
Such a great follow up question, right? Because when you were using the word sacrifice, I was thinking, oh, yeah, I guess that is interesting, right? But the most rewarding thing, which is why I don't see it as a sacrifice, is clarity.
Yes.
Everybody who is in my life today
Yeah.
is perfection to me, right? Because all of my relationships have been tested. Even
Yes.
the relationship that you and I have, we had a friend in common. And
Yes.
about a year ago, I had a fallout with that friend. Didn't know you were involved with that friend. Like that
Yeah.
realization that we had, or that situation that we had in that theater room that one day, I'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
So constantly, God is putting me in these spaces where it's like, okay, I know you thought this. And
Yeah,
yes, the sacrifice is that you have to give up this person, but for the greater good of clarity, everybody in my life is clean.
exactly.
So when I call my girlfriend Lena, I'm not talking to somebody who's then going to stab me in the back tomorrow. I'm talking to
Yeah,
a confidant. I give you
yeah,
everything. I throw it on the table. And girl, I give you all the ammunition in the world to shoot
yes,
me up if you wanted to,
yes,
right?
yeah,
But I'm thankful for the clarity, the sight, the vision, all of it being cleaned up.
yeah. That's a great, you know
And
what? I
also,
never,
sorry,
go ahead.
and I was going to
No, go
say,
ahead.
and all
Mhm.
of it is thanks to being poor, financially poor.
Yeah,
Everyone always says like, poor is the worst thing you can do. You watch a TV show and now during weddings, people don't ever say for rich or for poor. And I'm like, no,
yeah,
say that because the
yes,
lessons are in being poor. That's
yes,
all of it.
yeah.
All of it. So thank God for clarity because I am financially dependent on everybody else in this time.
Exactly. And you know what? You're going through like when you start your business, I think for women like us coming from these safe places, it's growth, right? And you talked about God and that growth and Him cleaning certain things out and revealing truth to you. That's all leading to this place of success. And I think a lot of us don't look at starting a business that way. We think off the back is going to be straight successful. I wish it could be like that, but it's not like that at all times. And you touched on all of those
Mhm.
key points on where you're at with your business. For younger women that are interested in leaving their safe place and starting a business, what type of advice would you have for these girls?
Ooh, okay. So my really transparent advice that would
Yes,
get me into a
girl.
lot of trouble. So
Yes.
this would get me into trouble corporately, but
Yeah.
I don't work in corporate, so who cares, right? Though we do have corporate sponsors and partnerships and things like that. Number one, you have to come up with a game plan, but you cannot come with a game. You can't come up with a game plan exhausted.
Mm.
So, what does that mean, right? If you have a job and you have to work, right? You can't leave, but you have to come up with an idea before you can leave. Take your 3-month short term disability. That money is already carved out in your
Yeah.
plan. That money is already sitting waiting for you. I've heard that not everybody gets 100% of it. Some people it's
Yeah.
90%. I've heard as little as 60 or 70%. Don't matter. Take
Yeah.
that money, take your 3 months. Use
Yeah.
the first month, sleep. Do not think about what you're doing next. Sleep.
I like
Sleep
that.
as often because and let me tell you, the number one issue I'm seeing now that I'm outside of the corporate cult is you're spinning your wheels because you're exhausted. There has never been a good idea that
Exactly.
came out of exhaustion.
Nope.
You know? So I think that first and foremost, sleep. Sleep
Get your
until you
rest. Yeah.
literally are exhausted of sleeping and you would need something, you're desperate to do something. And then in that desperation of finding something to do, figure out what makes you happy, what
Yeah.
satisfies you, what fills you up to the tippity top. And by fill up, I say that what satisfies you rises your self-esteem, allows for you to be without caffeine or alcohol or no other additives
Nice.
in your body. Yeah, absolutely. Like, what is it when you wake up and you're like, oh my God, thank God the sun's up. I gotta go. For me, it's
Yeah.
Pilates.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Pilates in an hour, gotta get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
I can't wait, you know?
Yeah.
So
Mine's
once
is
you figure
coffee.
out what,
Mine's
that's
is co
right, the give me 5 minutes.
yes. I get excited for
So
coffee.
once you,
Yeah.
and even like coffee, right? Coffee can be the thing that gets you excited. But if you are not a good person without caffeine, that's an issue.
It
That's a
is an
sign
issue.
that you are
Yes.
exhausted. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, Nothing wrong with it because the number one
Right.
drug in the world, as we all know, is coffee,
Yeah.
or caffeine, right?
Yeah.
Coffee is a beautiful thing. It's also a very social thing. I just came from a coffee event.
Yeah.
But
It's
if the
personally my soothing and happy place. Like it's
Mhm,
something about coffee that relaxes me. I get it before the kids get up, relax myself, plan out my day. It's my me time. You know what I mean? So
mhm.
yeah. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
And no, and
Yeah.
I get that because I'm a tea girl, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I die for a tea. So I totally get you there. But once you get to all those points, starting with a clear mind that's rested, then focused on what brings me happiness, that'll lead you to your passions and tell you what
Yes.
God's greatest calling is for you.
Yes.
And then that's the thing that you execute. So what I did was I found a calling God gave me. I somehow turned it into a company. And now it's about just following the dollars and the validity of it.
Exactly.
So that's the plan. Yeah.
Exactly. I love it because your company is still what we consider like a baby brand. You mentioned it's 4 years old. Can you share with us where would you like to be within the next 12 months to 2 years? Like where do you see your business at? as far as a growth standpoint?
Oh, great question. So in the next year, I think it's really about leaning into those strategic partners that will really give us validation. Today, I just left a meeting and I was told I need to put on my packaging that the game is therapist approved. I actually didn't even think about,
I
I
love
verbalized
that.
that. Yeah,
Yes.
I verbalize
Oh,
it all the
wow.
time, but I never thought to add that to the packaging. And I'm like, oh yeah,
Exactly.
obviously, like simple thing to do, right? So, having those strategic partners, because ultimately, over the next several years, the goal is to have touchy feely be a product that you can either purchase through your health insurance or use your FSA, your flexible spin account, to
Nice.
buy the product the same way you would like a squatty potty, right?
Yeah,
Like now that we are in the midst of proving that this is a therapeutic tool, now it's about having the healthcare industry back us up and put us in front of clients in need.
I love that. I could definitely see you in that whole entire space right there because 'cause you're already there, right? And I love that. Who
Mhm.
gave you that idea? That's a great marketing, strategy. Oh my god.
Genius. I went to a health tech, it was a
Okay.
biotech conference, and I didn't deserve to be there, right? It's biotech.
Yeah.
I'm in relational health.
Yes.
But you have, listen, any room where there's a healthcare person or a VC,
Exactly.
or something, you got to be there because you never know what people are going to give you. And I mean, I got
Exactly.
quite a bit piece of information that today, but like that was the thing that I'm like, oh, I can do an entire campaign around that.
Yeah, you sure can. You could like that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna completely change your marketing approach. So I
Mm-hmm.
love that. You could start that now and actually without the labels, but I know what you mean. Just to have those labels on there definitely can change the game for
Mm-hmm.
you. So we kind of went over everything. Your start at in corporate, we went over the challenges, we went over the rewards, some sacrifices that we may face as women in business, especially women of color in business, because it is definitely a little bit for me, a little bit more challenging. We'll have a whole other conversation on that because that's like a whole hour long conversation. Can you tell the audience exactly where we can find Touchy Philly right now in this moment? Direct us to support you and to get the word out more about your business.
Yes, absolutely. Please support. It's touchyfeelygame.com and just at touchyfeelygame on whatever, social platform you want to find us on. The game is the game, but the greater social impact is about getting people really clear about their emotional intelligence. In fact, the
Yeah,
pitch I have tomorrow, it's about sharing, and this time where everyone's focusing on AI, artificial intelligence,
yeah,
we're all leaving behind our EI, our emotional intelligence.
yeah,
And so it is sexy to be thinking about the chat GPTs and all these other things. But even when you utilize these AI products, it's all about what? How you communicate with these
what
tools.
others
So
exactly.
best outcome is always about how you communicate. So the game isn't just a game. It's definitely it's a
Yeah,
tool, it's a transparency model, it's a mirror of who you are and how your relationships operate, and also a stepping stone to get you better connected to the people around you.
yeah,
The
which is most
touchyfeelygame.com.
important. Yeah, I think that's really important right now, especially in the world that we live in, where we do rely on AI a lot for building out things in communication. Another thing is, before we end our interview, is I like the fact that it's for children, for all ages, because I find with my kids, especially my teenagers, communication is not a strong point for them because everything is like
Mhm,
television, YouTube, TikTok, everything is social, right? So to bring back
mhm.
those conversational pieces, which they're going to need after high school or college and all that fun stuff, your game is a great way to break the ice too with your kids and teach them about communication, how to express themselves as well. So I just wanted to point that out. It's not just for adults, guys, it's for all ages. And
Yeah.
thank you, Candace, for sharing your story with me today and sharing it with the audience. Most importantly, thank you for being my first interview.
Yay, thank
I was like,
you. That is such an honor.
yeah, I was like, I had to get my girl Candace. So thanks so much for sharing everything with us. And I'm hoping to
Yeah.
have you back soon so we can hear about the next phase of Touchy Philly.
Anytime.
Thank you, Candace. All right, talk soon, girlfriend.